Now, as I said, that trial and error method when you've got a number coefficient in front of the x squared. Right, here's another way of doing it. I'm not a fan of this one. It's a good methodical one, especially if you can't. I'm not very good at guessing the numbers. It takes a few steps. You've got to follow the steps, but here we go. The reason why it's called the AC method is, okay, I'll do them all, A, B, and C. The three numbers, the three letters. Now, of course, it's called the AC method. I'm not going to use B. A, B, and C will come in later, maybe for the quadratic equation formula, but here we go, the AC method. What is A times C? 2 times 3 is 6, okay? So, what's the number in the middle? That's 5. So, now you can use that technique for when we had just a simple x squared, x and a number, alright? In other words, what's two numbers that multiply make 6, not the 3 at the end, because that 2, we've taken into account the 2 at the start. So two numbers that multiply make 6, that when you add make 5. Hopefully you realise that's 3 and 2, okay? Hey. Okay, so now what that is now all you found there is what we're going to do is we're going to split up the middle term, the 5x, into a 3x and a 2x, or a 2x and a 3x. So we still have the 2x squared, okay? We still have the 3 at the end, all right? Now what we're going to do is break the 5x and we could break the 5x into, 4x and 1x, 3x and 2x, but it's not 4x and 1x because of this. It's 3x and 2x because this is the AC method, okay? Two numbers that make 6 when you multiply, they make 5 when you add. 3 and 2. Now then, I am going to put the 2x here and the 3x here, okay? So there's the 5x, 2x and 3x. But the reason why I did it that way and didn't put the 3x first is I can say, well, the 2's go together and the 3's go together because what we're going to do now is factor by grouping. Here we go. Remember this? Watch. Split it down the middle. I've got 4 terms now instead of 3, so I'm going to factor something out of the first 2, something out of the second 2. So that's why I put the 2's together and the 3's together. But it doesn't matter, it'll work either way. Alright? You could have put the 2x first and the 3x second. Right, here we go. What can I factor out of the first 2? You can factor out a 2 and an x. Can you see that? There's a 2x in both. So here we go. 2x I can factor out. What's left when I do? Right, 2's have gone, an x2 over an x1. If I take an x out of an x2, I've got 1 left. If you need to check, do the distributive law. Plus, now, this is just anything divided by itself. 2x over 2x, that's going to give me 1. Yes, you can say sometimes things have cancelled top and bottom, but you can't write nothing. It's 1. Keep the middle sign. Remember that from those factor by grouping? Now, what can I factor out of a 3x and a 3? It's a 3. And what should be left, remember, that first parenthesis? Yep, x plus 1. Okay, I'll check. If you want me to write it there, remember I can factor in a 3 out. Okay, well, that's where the 1 comes, okay? Now, okay, again, so those two are the same. So x plus 1 is what I can factor out of both. What's left when I do? The 2x plus 3. Remember the visuals on this? All right. Now if you go back and look at that other video that I did trial and error, that's exactly the same as what I got, except I wrote it as 2x plus 3 first with an x plus 1 second, but that doesn't matter. Okay, that's the AC method. I'll do it. What else did I do? I think I did question 28, did I? And I'll do question 26. I'll just do question 26 because I know we did 26 as well. Okay, eraser, 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 eraser. Okay, so let's have a look. Pen. Right, the A, that's an A, folks, C method. Right, this time A times C is, I'll put it over here, is negative 14, isn't it? Okay, so that's A times C, that's AC, and I need to get to negative 5 when I add, okay? So remember, now here we go. So what's two numbers that make negative 14 when you multiply, that make negative 5 when you add? And I think that's negative 7 and positive 2. Okay, so that's what I'm going to split that negative 5x up into. Okay, the negative 5x is going to become this. Some space, right? So 7x squared is at the start, minus 2 is at the end. But now it's not negative 5x, I'm going to write negative 7x with a positive 2x. Okay? So remember, that's why I did all this. It's just to split up that negative 5x. Okay? So it's a negative 7x and a positive 2x. That's what I split it into. That's still negative 5x. Here we go. Split it down the middle. Remember? Factor by grouping. Right. What can I factor out of the first two? Looks like a 7 and an x will come out of both. Okay, 7 and an x. Okay, 7 in both, x in both. Okay, so here we go. 7x is what I can factor out of both. What's left when I do? Well, a lot of cancelling again like the last one. 7s have gone, x2 on top, an x on bottom. When I take one out, I'm left with an x minus, and again, here's another 7x over 7x. Well, that's 1. Okay, anything divided by itself. Keep the middle term. 2x and a 2. Can you see that's just going to be 2? So I can take a 2 out. What's left should be, again, remember, x minus 1. And I look, remember 2 divided by 2 is 1. Yes, it's x minus 1. Okay, remember they have to be the same. Okay, so what's common to both? The x minus 1. What's left when I factor it out? Visuals, the 7x plus 2. So that's the AC method. We obviously play the video again. It's steps to remember, that's the problem. It's very methodical, it's nice, but I like the trial and error method. That's me.